shrank back as the horror let go of the bus and slid to the ground. His yellow eyes studied us menacingly. He moved towards us quickly. Clay and Luke hid behind Dad. Mum's mouth dropped open in fright. "What do you want?" I cried. He reached out his green hand. "Here," he said. "We forgot to give you free passes for next year." Hey guys, it's Bjorn here again, Goosebumps #1 Aussie fan, bringing you another book review. So yeah guys, I've just finished up reading One Day at Horrorland for like the 50th time. I read this book many times growing up. It is one of the greatest Goosebump titles of all time. It spawned sequels, 2 board games, a whole spin-off series, a CD-ROM game. I mean, this is like one of the most amazing and most iconic Goosebumps titles in existence, okay? And yeah, so I've just finished up reading it, so let's dive in. So yeah guys, the story basically goes, there's this family named the Morris family. Now, they are looking for this place called Zoo Gardens, but obviously they can't find it, they get lost. And also guys, another thing, it's not just the Morris family, there's actually Luke, who's the brother. He actually has a friend named Clay with him in the book. Now if you've seen the TV episode, obviously Clay is not in it. There's only Luke and Lizzie, the sister. But there's no Clay in the actual TV episode, but in the book there is. So just in case if you haven't read it, there's actually another character, alright? But yeah, they're trying to find Zoo Gardens. They obviously can't find it. Then they start driving and they end up in this foresty sort of area, and they notice the sign for Horrorland. So obviously the kids want to stop by, check it out, because it sounds like it'll be so cool. And then once they get there, they get out of the car, they start heading up to the front gate, but then their car just blows up. So yeah, a bit of a shock there, and they're like, whoa, what's going on? So they end up going to the ticket booth, asking for a phone and whatnot. The guy reassures them that everything will be fine, with the car and whatnot, and he lets them know that there's obviously no phones in Horrorland. But yeah, so they think, oh, okay, well, we'll just let them take care of it, whatnot, and yeah, you kids go on some rides. So they end up, they're rushing to go on some rides, they want to check them out. And they notice the green monsters, the Horrorland horrors. One of them's got an ice cream vendor and whatnot. But yeah, the first ride they go onto is the Doom Slide. Now, as we all know, if you pick the wrong slide, you'll end up sliding forever until you're a corpse. So, but obviously that's not the case in the book. They don't go down the wrong slide. In the TV episode, they don't even go down the slide, but obviously in the book they do, which is awesome. So yeah, they end up going down the Doom Slide. They're all good, everyone's fine. And then they go in the House of Mirrors, they go in the Bat Barn, and then they soon realize that obviously Horrorland, the rides are just way too scary and it's not normal. And there's hardly anyone else in the park. There's hardly any other families around. So yeah, they decide they want to leave, whatnot, and then they run into their parents. And then their parents obviously, want to go, but then they decide to go on one more ride, which is the Coffin Cruise ride. They think, oh, that might not be too scary, that must be alright, Coffin Cruise ride. So they end up going on the Coffin Cruise ride, but when the doors shut, they start seeing spiders and, all sorts of creepy things in there. And then once they get off, they officially want to leave. So they go back to the front gate, but then they notice a big sign that reads, "No one leaves Horrorland alive," no one can leave kind of thing. So like, what's going on? And then the Horrorland horrors appear, they kidnap them, and then they put them on this like game show thing. And basically, they do like a series of different like things on the game show, whatnot. So yeah, the horrors eventually turn on them, and they get taken to this like a pond, like this purple pond. One of the horrors instructs them, like he throws, like it's a girl, and the Horrorland MC, whatnot, throws in like a rock into the pond, and then it just sort of like bubbles and whatnot, just floats to the bottom. And then she says to the family, so will you jump in, or do we have to push you in? So yeah, basically they obviously they don't want that to happen, so they're being forced, and then the horrors start like moving in on them, obviously push them in because they're not going to jump in. And then basically what happens then is that Lizzie then remembers about the signs that read no pinching, so she decides to pinch one of the horrors, and it ends up deflating and dying. So they then realize that that's how they defeat them. They pinch them and whatnot, and then they're deflating and dying. So they end up running off, trying to escape back to the gate. They notice a bus out in the parking lot, so they eventually get on the bus. Then they drive off, and just when they think it's all safe, as I read in the end of the book, one of the horrors has clung onto the back of the bus, and when they sort of stop and he gets off, as I read in the last sort of paragraph, he offers them free passes to come to Horrorland yet again. So guys, it is definitely one of the greatest Goosebumps books of all time, that is for certain. It is such an iconic one. I mean, as I said before, it spawned a PC game, it spawned board games, it spawned a spin-off series, the works. This book has had the works. It's just like Night of the Living Dummy, it's very popular. But guys, out of 10 for scare factor, 50 out of 10. That is for sure. But out of 10, I would say at least 11 out of 10. Goosebumps approved. So yeah guys, it's a fantastic book. I really hope you enjoyed this book review. I believe the next one I will be doing is Monster Blood 2 and then Night of the Living Dummy 2. So throw me some more suggestions. I think I've already had 50 now, but let's keep them coming. I want to do the original 62 first, so don't put any suggestions for Series 2000s or Horrorland or Most Wanted books as of yet. I want to try and get through, at least half of the 62 books before I start considering to do, some of the more recent, newer titles. But guys, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you again soon.